Good afternoon. Today, we celebrate more than just a graduating class. We celebrate resilience, growth, hard work, and the courage to keep pushing forward. Class of 2026, this belongs to you. Every obstacle, every late night, every challenge you face helped shape the person that you are becoming today. Remember this, the best view comes from the hardest climb. Your future is bright, your purpose is greater, and your journey is just beginning. So dream big, stay focused, lead with purpose, and go change the world. Welcome to this special episode of Collective Conversations celebrating the 2026 graduating class. Today's special guest, we have our graduates. We have Miss Adriana Law, Miss Donya Burton, and Mr. Josiah Miller. Good afternoon. And thank you, viewers, for sitting in on this installment. So we'll start right to left. Miss Adriana, could you tell us a little bit about yourself? Everybody has been here before, but still.
Right. Welcome.
Um, I graduated from West Virginia State in May with my Bachelor's of Science in Sports Studies, from Beckley. And I also recently, right before I graduated, completed my second art exhibition.
Next, Miss Donya Burton.
I will be graduating from Woodrow Wilson High School on Saturday at 5 o'clock. I graduated from ACT tomorrow, so
Nice. Mr. Josiah Miller.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Josiah Miller, and I will graduate from ACT and Woodrow Wilson High School. I also like to run track.
Well, I welcome you all. I mean, I think, it's a great, episode to have. One of the things we always mention is the fact that the hard work it takes to, and we have like two different spectrums. We got the college route, and then we got the high school route, right? And then you got the old route. but I mean, really, it's like one of the things, when we talk about was the journey worth it? I mean, let's just start with that. I mean, and anybody can speak up. It's not that, but I mean, was the journey worth it? Now,
yes.
thinking back, all of you, thinking back to elementary school, right? Knowing, walking the hall scared to death, kindergarten, right? Would you ever think it would flip this fast, to get here, and that's the thing.
Not really.
When they said the 4 years go by quick, it went by fast. That is gracious.
High school went by fast, but college went by 10 times faster.
Right.
Which is crazy.
Right. I think, one thing you do here in Raleigh County is you walk the halls of the elementary schools you went to. Tell me about it. You haven't done it yet. Tell me about that, but you've done it. Tell me about it.
It was cool to see, because you remember being that small. And I think my class was the first class that walked at Beckley Elementary. So for them to see that for the first time, and that's also the first time we've done anything like that, it was pretty cool.
See,
But
yeah.
like you said, it went by really fast. I still remember being in those classes and stuff. But it was a full circle kind of my middle school though.
Yeah, I think that's great. I really do. Letting the kids see, and also you, because one thing, the older gentleman, not so much Mike, but Chad can remember, things look bigger when you get smaller. But then when you go back, this place ain't even that big. I remember just playing in my grandma's back, front yard. It wasn't big at all. And I thought it was. At the time. I knew it was a little small. But anyway, when you go back now and look at it, you're like, man, this place is too good. But I think it's, super good. But, I think the challenges though. So can you talk a little bit about some of the challenges that you through the journey? Anybody?
I'll go first, man. Well, studying, late night studying, staying up all night, getting ready for tests, that's a challenge as well. Not being like other people, falling into the madness of your school or your surrounding area. And stuff like that. Like I said, studying, playing sports as well while studying, stuff like that for me.
Right.
And it was that hard. High school is what you make it, to be honest with you. If you make it hard, it's gonna be hard.
Tell me some reasons why you can make it hard.
Getting sucked into the wrong crowd,
Right.
acting the fool, stuff like that.
How do you steer out of that? Because you're done now. So how do you steer out of that? How did you steer it personally?
Me personally, a deacon at the church talked to me about the way I was acting, and I had to stay away from those people. And he also maturing and is realizing that those people are silly.
Right.
And things
Well, I mean, I think you're right. I mean, I think, it's about growth as well.
Mhm.
Ladies?
My past was rough, but I feel like I overfilled those challenges. I had a lot of bad challenges, but growing up and like seeing now what I was doing in the 9th grade and 10th grade, it's just not working. It was on wrong people. I feel like I'm maturing now and figuring out life.
I would say like I had some of the same challenges though, like being older. Your biggest like consequence is no longer like just getting suspended or your parents taking your phone. So it's kind of like learning how to navigate being around the right people and also like kind of stepping into adulthood. I think was probably like my biggest challenge because like after work, like had to work, just a couple other things and stuff like that, and just managing that and school because nobody's there to like wake you up, make sure you go. So that'll probably be the hardest thing is transitioning from like living at home to doing it, but like on my own kind of thing.
I think, Donnie attests to this. I think I scaled back from that, kind of getting her up, in the morning because, you have to get yourself up. It's just the way it is. And nobody's going to knock on your door. And you've already paid your money, into these colleges. So it's like, get up or not. I went to state. So, congratulations to you. I went to state and I graduated from state. But I tell you, every one of my roommates flunked out. And I had like 4 or 5 of them. Because they didn't go to class. I'm sure they were going through some things too, but just didn't even go from the start. I could see if they were, it's just one of those things. So they only last semester. That's all it was, and I'm like, and that would give me motivation to get up because I'm like, even though sometimes I didn't want to get up. Let's get it right, but and I still have dreams now about missing a business law test that I overslept for. But it just happens. Sometimes. You have to be prepared. That just like with like you said in high school, same way you got to have the discipline, right? And once you start to get the discipline, what happened? Then the consistency. Then what happened?
start feeling good about yourself, start doing better. You want to do it more.
Right. If you could, any shout outs you all want to shout at somebody out? Right off the bat. I know it's early.
You, actually, I'll shout out my dad because I got with you. You showed me like how to be a woman, how to live on my own, like growing up, and what's right and wrong. So I'll shout you out.
Well, I thank you for that. I do.
I'll give a shout out to my Aunt Rosie and Uncle Steve and my mom as well. Without them, I wouldn't be who I am today.
Right. I get it. It's long.
Aside from like my family, definitely gotta shout out God because there is like, absolutely, my whole college experience was just like a second chance. So I'm real grateful that I graduated. So you definitely gotta give glory to God.
Oh yeah, that's always. That's great. You said that because I think it's a lot. What we think about as well. And I think for you, right, being 18 at one time, then going to state, I think you kind of got a little hairy for me. Then, as far as just indulging in things, never have done it before, but just being out, right, peer pressure and things of that nature. That's one of the things. And I want to say don't do it because I don't want you to do it. But the more I say don't do it, the more you're gonna say, hey, what are you talking about? Or the classic, well, you did it. you did it, but I would never want, some of the things go on. I think, real quick and I move on, for me, in my sophomore year in college, I was in deep depression, right? And I just because of all, I was the lowest grade point after I got, but just I guess it was just sinking in. You got so much to go, but then you only went so far. But then look, you always on campus. You didn't have any money. This isn't one of those. Food is. I ain't gonna say scarce. I'm not saying they starvers, but I'm just saying food is scarce. It's like what? And I'm paying for this. This is crazy to me.
From what you used to.
Oh, well, most definitely. And that but to kind of get yourself through it is a big thing. And that's one of the things that I would would like to say. Don't ever like you had done. You had downfalls sometimes in high school, elementary, middle school, right? But you got back up because that's the big key is about getting back up. I believe is one of the things that we speak about. So what do you think? What's next after? What's next? What's next for you all after graduation?
Going to college, Concord University, play basketball, and study sociology and criminology.
I'm going to Michigan Tech University to study forensic science investigations. I'm running track for them there.
Right.
I'll be going next summer to get my master's in athletic training.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna get you back on here again. But so what about the art side?
Nothing really planned right now. I do work a summer camp at State, and I'm teaching an art class there.
Oh shoot.
So
That's great.
that's about it that I have planned for like the art side. I'll probably do a couple pieces here and there, but I don't think I'll do another show before I leave.
But not before you leave. But that was I'd like to say just for you being that was amazing. Because I had never been to one before, but I think it's a timing. Everything's timing, right? And I think it was time for, to see something like that. It was phenomenal to me. I mean, I just met an author yesterday. I was going to tell Chad about. I mean, all those things just really excite me because it's creating things, and it's but to see it from like start to finish and then have it was pretty awesome. It really was. Tell me this, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me about your future goals. We already said that. So the opportunities that you have. I know basketball for you, track, and then you're going to teach plus go back to school as well. So when you say that, how's it going to build this confidence for the next level?
Well, like with me, with the whole getting my master's in athletic training, since like the program's starting this summer, and I'm taking this summer to work, and I wanted to take a couple more classes to get prepared. I'm going to go back and work with like the football team. So I've done that for the last 2 years. So it's just going to help me like build experience. I think that's one thing I feel like I would need it. Was more experience, more hands-on experience. So for that side, like just going back and still learning, I feel like I'll step into the master's program more confidently than like teaching an art class. The art show itself gave me more confidence to like pursue art more than just like on the side. But like teaching the art class is something I did it last year, and I'm really looking forward to it. Just like getting to encourage younger students to like pursue art and stuff that they're interested in.
Because I think Lonnie, did you go?
No.
Confidence. For you two, real quick, you could give a little bit of this because didn't you play basketball at first?
Like in college?
State?
No.
Oh,
No.
were you going to play or?
I worked with the basketball team. I was like the manager.
Right.
But I never like really played. I played pickup occasionally.
Right, of course.
But that was about it.
Did you want to or?
I had thought about it. And then just after not playing for like 2 years.
Right.
And then it was a completely different world. So just working with them was more my speed because I wasn't.
So tell Donnie and tell Josiah a little bit about working with them as far as what it takes.
It takes a lot of discipline. Just because like you said, like you're in college, like you're grown. So nobody's gonna be checking behind you. Yeah, they're gonna like be on you to be there, but if you're not there, like it's a business, like you're replaceable. That's what college in general, but especially sports, because they're like that's money to them. The coach that's his job is you performance. Like you're not showing up, you're replaceable. It's not like high school where like your parents can come talk to the coach or something like that. They will get rid of you and not care.
Right.
So I would say discipline is probably the biggest thing. Discipline, commitment, and you really have to love your sport to play in college because it's like nonstop. From working with like the basketball team and the football team, like they were going even if they weren't in season, you still had something to be doing on top of keeping up with like your schoolwork and everything like that. So just a discipline. Yeah.
Not to put you on the spot, what do you two think about that? Just listen to her say that. What do you think?
You gotta work harder.
I want you to think of it like this. That's school. That's school. That's how it was to get through these 18 years. Or maybe not 18, but get through these years in school. It's the same. I know it's a little different, but still. I mean, that point to me, the thing about it, I'll just say it real quick and then we move on, but even with Danya, right? I mean, and we've already, kind of talked about some of the learning disabilities that she had. But one thing I commend her for is the fact that she always liked school, though. Something that number one, I didn't like school that much anyway. But then, but that's not something that she ever, which was weird because like I said, it was hard for her, and I only got the indication how hard it was when the teacher she was in like maybe second grade, and just kind of went over what was going on, and then we further found out when I took her to Weirton and to a doctor talking about her dyslexia. So even to know that part, is that's what it takes though. That's what, right? You got to be whatever's inside of you. That's what it takes. And same thing, Josiah, same thing. That's what it takes. And that's the thing. One thing, you didn't take that route, basketball, but look at you. You sit here today. So there is another route. I'm not saying I don't want to play. I want both of them to, right? But there is another route. I mean, there's another route because the goal is to get the degree, right? That's the goal. Get the degree and then do the job that you want. And that's a big part of it.
Question that I have for you two also is, have y'all had the opportunity to talk to student athletes
Yes.
in college?
Yes.
I've talked to all three levels.
Okay.
They're all different players, but I talked to somebody from Concord, somebody from Marshall, and it was some D3 school.
You said that's two.
I talked to Isaac Agee from he runs track and Washington Tech as well.
Okay, so that's good, right? From tech. So, like, what type of things did y'all get from that conversation? Because just the different levels of sports compared from high school and college, like the lifestyle.
Definitely have to put in more work in college because your spot can be took at any time.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that going into like college is 10 times different than regular high school. You have to get up. There's nobody like they're saying like no coach is going to make you come to practice. That you have a specific time to be there and you have a specific time to leave. So if you're not there, that's your fault. You can be replaced. So that's really what I got out of it.
Same thing. like do your score as well. Keep up with that.
Yeah.
And always keep learning, right? Keep learning.
And Don, I think you kind of touched on it. All three of them, as I listened to them tell their stories, and they're three remarkable young people, but none of them told their story that they were perfect and that everything went smooth and that they didn't make any mistakes and that there wasn't any challenges. And so I would say lean on those lessons.
Right.
Lean on those people that you did to overcome them in your past, and those will also carry you as you go forward. And that applies to, I think, all young people.
Just not a knock. I mean, like I said before, praise God, I got to graduate from state. When I was talking about that time where I was, really having some rough times, right? Well, about maybe a couple of weeks ago, we took a group of kids down there to visit state, right? And lo and behold, sitting on the table was a mental health pamphlet that you could go to, and it was like right there, like you could see it. So I was like, man, so that times have changed. But not being funny, lean on. I mean, lean, on the mental health. I mean, because it does get kind of different. I mean, it does. You like I said. I mean, Adrian can tell you. I mean, you down there with no, and it's not. Trust me, I'm not saying it like that because you can go to the caf, you can do these things, but you literally sometimes don't have any money. So it's like, and you just kind of going around. I mean, it's like I mean, one thing I was joking about it when I told somebody, but I was like, I think the bus runs at state. They like all the time, right? I never got on it. Number one, I ain't got no money. Two, where you going? I mean, really? Now I had some friends go, but I ain't gonna tell you they went down there. I'm not going with them because that's just like me and Josiah said. We both don't have any money. He going to the store for what? What we going for? I mean, so you already know the deal. So I'm just gonna stay out of that. But that's one of the things that I like about where you are going. The institutions where you're going as well. I mean. Now mental health is the forefront of definitely helping the students get through things as well. Just real quick, leadership and legacy. All right, leading by example, becoming leaders in the community. This is something that you already have done and are going to continue to do. With that being said, sometimes, not that you have to put it on yourself. It's a lot of burden sometimes because you know, to do, like you said, to do always do the right thing. You know, those are the, you know, kind of the things where you have to steer, you know, I'm sure. I mean, she could tell you. I mean, but she's been in closer to me, and I'm not saying to get deep into it, but I'm just saying you had to make some right turns, or you know, left turns, or right, and it is tough.
Yeah.
It's tough, but no, but you sit there today. Some people didn't walk in May that you got there 4 years ago. These are the things. I mean, like I said, we're praying for them, but you see it. I mean, I can't tell you how many people didn't. I mean, we had a big class when we came in, you know, state. They weren't there. You know, they weren't there. Matter of fact, I mean, let's get it right. It took me 4.5 years to graduate, you know, from college. I'm just saying. All right. So it's about the you know, the grind too, right? And also getting, you know, understanding, you know, what your major may be, what you want your major to be at first, and then it might switch up. You know, but one of the things by sitting here today, you know, very positive influence on young generations. You don't think it, but it is. You know, it is. It's just one of those things. I mean, you know, just say it real quick, real funny. You know, Josiah called me to figure out where the address was over here, and I told him, and you know, he said I'll be there. So he hung up, but somehow he called back. So when he called back, he's like, "Yeah, I gotta go to this live stream," but it's about showing up, though. That's what I'm getting at. I mean, I'm glad he's here. It's about showing up, though, right? I mean, he did discuss he was getting a little monetary stuff. I heard it. I hung up after that, though. But I'm just saying. But still, I mean, one of those things is, you know, but being a leader, you know, going against the grain, right, and being a positive influence. That's what it takes. But you all have gifts. We all do have gifts and talents we could use that are very unique to everyone, right? But we can inspire others with it. I mean, like I said before. Writer, you know, artist, you know, I mean, think about it. Basketball player, track, right? I mean, that's something to me. I mean, because it's hard. You know, tell me a little bit about, you know, your social media responsibility and the impact that you may have on that. Because you all, you know, we always talk about social media.
Group chats.
Social media. Social media bad thing.
Is social media bad, or the things we're getting on bad?
It's bad. It's the things that we're getting on.
People on the app and stuff on social media.
So here's the thing. So just like anything else, right? I mean, when if you were to get in trouble, it wouldn't just be Danya getting in trouble. It would be Concord basketball player getting in trouble. You know, West Virginia Tech, you know, track star getting in trouble. This is what happens when you get, you know, indulged, and it's hard. I mean, I'm not saying it isn't, but you know, it is something with responsibility. But once again, lean back to what you've already done. You had to get up. You mean some, you know, probably some friends didn't go to school. They said they was and didn't go. Cut out. That's the way it is. I mean, right? So you have some responsibility, and like I said before, if it gets too much, seek help. That's all you gotta do. Seek help, ask for help. Nobody knows you know, you're struggling unless you say it, right? But one way we can, you know, maybe, you know, curve against struggling is form good habits. Tell me some good habits that you formed while you were in state. Good habits that you didn't have before.
Oh, I would say the biggest one for me was like managing my time. So, back to the social media thing. I spend a lot of time on TikTok. I love TikTok. But I found myself like scrolling for like hours. I had work to do. We just sitting there on TikTok, watching TV, doing stuff. So I had to learn how to manage my time. I ended up having to actually go to the library because I would be like, I'm gonna study in my room. I took a nap. Like I got up, went back to like I never studied in my room. So I ended up like having to carve out time to go to the library, get away from people and actually study. I feel like that's probably the biggest one. Because time management is probably like the biggest thing in college. It's like you have all this free time. Like even like with you're not gonna be in practice all the time. So like you'll have free time. It's like what you do with it. So making sure like you have time to get all by yourself and actually study, and like just develop a good routine.
Because I mean, you'll find this funny. Remember I said you don't have any money to do anything, right?
Right.
But somehow There's always something to do other than work. That makes no sense what I just told you, but it is. You know why? Because I'm like, man, I wonder what they're doing down in that room. What they doing? I mean, this is what they playing cards or something like that. I mean, I'm just telling you. You know, you might get your own to do work. You too.
I mean, I found whenever I was in school, I wasn't working with a lot of funds either, you know. I will say I was thankful at the time. My mom looked out for me at times when I needed things and things like that. But I was definitely one that was searching for something to do. So I mean, I find myself in random places at random times, just doing random.
We were talking about those stories.
I've told you something.
But that's the thing. I mean, you know, letting you know. I mean, don't go down that road though either. I mean, don't go that way, but stay disciplined. Form good habits, right? Of going to the library that you don't really want to do. You keep doing these things, and then you'll see that it becomes a good habit, not so much a bad one.
I will say it took me not having those habits and, you know, meeting the consequences of my actions, me to develop those habits. Cause like my first year was not, the library did not see me my first year. A lot of classrooms didn't see me with my first semester there, but I learned really quickly that they don't really play with you in college. And that's thousands of dollars on the line. So when you really put it into perspective, like you're gonna pay all this money and then waste my parents' money, it helps. It's more of an incentive to get it together.
That's all it is.
Yeah. So I didn't start off that way at all, but to pick it up, it really made an improvement.
Not a knock on any of you, but every one of you have worked a job. Okay. The key word is job. Not saying anything's wrong with what you chose, right? But do you want to do that for the next 10 to 15 years?
No, sir.
Guess what though? Not knocking those, not knocking those that have. So I'm not knocking that, but think about it. Always remember that then when you don't want to get up and hit that, when you hit that snooze button and not going to school, that always remember that because that's what it is. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with it, but guess what? I think you drove the car today. You know, I mean, some jobs, I'm just saying, not being funny, but some jobs you can barely afford ends meet when it comes to what do I mean by that? Food and just shelter. That's it. We ain't talking about no car. You know what I mean? So we have to understand. I mean, if we want better things, we have to work for them. I mean, it's also one of those things as well. So that's just a little bit, you know, we're talking about it. Okay, I want to get into, you know, some quick advice. All right, some rapid fire encouragement. Right, that's what we're doing at. You know, and that's the thing. You know, we already gave you one. I mean, it's just one of those things. Tell me your favorite high school memory.
Ooh.
And then I got another question there.
Y'all just left high school. Y'all got
it. We went to just a lot of them. Can it be a sports memory?
Yeah, please.
All right, I can make that real quick. Probably be beating your favorite short team when we were in relay teams. I'm not gonna lie.
Good.
Shoot. Smoke them out the water.
G-Dub game. I mean, I had a double.
Or the lunch table talks.
Yeah, lunch table. That was a good time.
I'll say when we beat East my sophomore year to go to sectionals, or the win sectionals after the whole thug thing. Yeah.
Right.
What about y'all? I'm just curious.
But you know, before I tell you,
Trying to play.
before I tell you, I ain't gonna tell you that. Before I tell you, you were gonna answer that question differently.
Right.
You had to think about the positive things. Because I know you're joking. So you was getting ready to dig it.
Nah, I ain't gonna. Nothing negative, right? No negativity. Probably positivity.
Okay, I mean, that's it. I mean, for me, I'll just tell you, a memory, high school memory, I'm gonna tell you real quick, and I'll let them go. You know, I never knew anything about class rank. I never knew what it was. I know this sounds crazy. I never knew what it was, right? So one day I came into school, they got all these people's names on the board. I'm like, well, shoot, that must not be for me. I didn't see mine till way down there. I was like, man, you know, it just, I don't know. It was, I can't say it was embarrassing, only the fact that I just didn't know, but, you know, I didn't work as hard as I should have in high school. I'm not going to lie, you know, but it did make me think, you know, be kind of apprehensive about going to college, but shoot, I did better in college than I did in high school. I mean, I wouldn't tell anybody to take that route. Don't get me wrong, but it's just one of those things. I think, the high school I went to did prepare me for college. I believe that. I went to GW, so it did prepare me, but I didn't put my best foot forward. So if anybody here is not putting the best foot forward in school, because he's in school, Jazz in school currently now, do that. Do that, because I know it seems like it's tedious, or it does mean something. It does mean something, and that's one of the things that we talk about as well. You got one word of encouragement? One word.
I think it's been the theme of the day in all three of their what they've said and has worked, and is discipline.
One word that's hard for me. Yeah, that's real.
I gave like 20. So.
I'll say goal.
Because you gotta know what your goal is.
And I'd say
I'll
balance.
goal.
I'd say balance. You have to learn it. You have to learn balance, with when you go to school. Okay, John said you got to learn those balances, right? As far as your good habits, things you get. Really, you have to learn balance to understand. There is time. There is going to be time you need to, go out, and hang out with your friends. I'm not saying that. I'm not sitting there telling you to sit in the room the whole 4 years either. I'm not telling you that either. But there are times when you have to. But there's also times just like now. I don't feel well now, but I'm here. Because sometimes it's not, that's why I was going to tell you about you, it's about action. Even though you may not have wanted to come, you did it anyway, right? That's why, because you said you were going to be here.
Yeah, I had a good breakfast. I had a good lunch. I was like, I'll be eating good.
I seen the picture. I seen the picture. Right, I seen the picture of it. Right. Tell me a little bit about, to me, your future dreams. I know we talked about them a little bit. Now, this is going beyond what you see right now. Beyond that.
My future dreams is to not live in Beckville. That's not and I'm not being funny. I just don't want to. I want to be in a different environment. I want to live somewhere else. I want to become a crime scene investigator. That's my main goal. So after college and after everything, become a crime scene investigator. Move out of there.
When you say it's a different place, are you talking just more city-like?
Yeah, Charlotte. That's the plan. But you'll never know what happens down the road. So I could say I live in Charlotte and don't move to Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to be in more of like a bigger environment, make more money, stuff like that.
I think, and it's good to have a plan. I didn't hear yours.
Oh.
I'm going to take the state for science and investigations. One day I want to become a forensic scientist, investigate crime scenes as well.
So what's your favorite show?
Favorite show? What's my show? ID channel?
Oh, really?
Yeah, we watch ID channel.
Oh,
I didn't watch ID channel.
well, that's
Here and there. I
See,
really don't watch TV, to be honest with y'all.
but I'm just saying,
I watch it here and there if it comes on.
with forensic. Okay, that's cool.
After I get my master's, I plan on getting my doctorate in kinesiology. The ultimate end goal is to be a head AT in the NFL. But like I say, like she said, you never know what's down the road. Because I keep doing all these art shows. So you really never know. So I might be an artist, but the ultimate goal is to get my doctorate.
Right. So rewind. You just use a big word. Kinesiology, is that what you said?
It's like the study of the body, like how the body moves, how
wow.
things function,
Oh, wow.
stuff like that.
So crazy question. So does that kinetic tape really work?
I'm not gonna lie.
Since you talking,
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I guess if you use it the right way and you put it on the right way, I feel like it can work. Because when I worked for people used it, they used it from time to time. I know when I played, I put it on my shoulder. It's more for looks. It looked cool. It didn't really help.
Right.
But then again, I could have not been using it right.
I just want, but then you can come back and tell us how to properly use it.
Yeah, I can come back and tell y'all. Yeah.
Probably, but yeah, I wasn't in shape when I
never understood.
I thought it was like a band, just like
it
looked like it.
I never
hold your tendon together. And
I
all
think you
that.
have to tape it a certain way, though. There's certain ways you have to tape it.
I never understood because no girls would put on for cross country season. They would put on to run 5 miles and run under pain. I never
All right, well, that's good. Adriana spoke about it. So let's go there. Faith, purpose, and direction. Tell me a little bit about that. Each of you. Faith, purpose, and direction.
Just like in school or
Well, you said it when you first said it, you know what I mean about God, you know, that's what you shouted out. I mean, I'm just saying.
yeah. My biggest thing is like if you like for me personally, I grew up in the church, parents preachers, grandma's pastor kind of thing, like grew up in the church. I would prioritize your relationship with God. If you have one, if you don't, start building one. Because like when you get to college, you're not necessarily like on your own, but you kind of on your own, and you don't make mistakes. You're going to get to some things. I think the best thing you can do is have a relationship with God.
I think I'm glad you said that.
To like always have like you'll have not that it's like a backup plan, but like have something to like fall on. Like you have somewhere to run. You have church. You have prayer. You have those things. I would say is just prioritize a true relationship with God.
I wouldn't say I was as close as like God before I started living with my father, but living with my dad, he's going to church every Sunday. I guess you gotta have God and like you just gotta walk with God.
And I don't want to put you on the spot. Like you have to say that, right? I'm not saying that either. I mean, but I know when I saw you, I was very surprised. Not because, but I just don't go to that church. I don't go to that church. But I see that Sunday, and I was like, "What are you walking around for?" But he's ushering, right? I mean, but I feel,
I'm about to be a deacon,
right? I mean, that's but those things. Don't cut you off. I got something to say. Go ahead. Go ahead. Okay. So here's the thing. Adriana, were you popular in school?
In high school?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wasn't.
You gotta make yourself. But this is what I'm saying about about that purpose, right? You be the low man on totem pole. I'm just saying because you just be another student. Not saying that's bad, but that's something you have to understand, right? And you may fail tested too. Hopefully not too many. You might get back up, right? It's one of those things I've said it before. Finding purpose beyond your popularity. This is it. This is when you'll start to learn who you really are, and you'll start to learn who people are, right? I think as I'll let you go and talk, but I didn't like school. I did like college. I did like it. But you know what I liked it? I mean, I understand about, studying major, but the study of people was way, maybe I can tell you that, right? The many walks of life we saw, Florida, Georgia, just different places all over. And it's great to see because let's get it right. We don't see it a lot here. But when you see that, you start to learn people a lot. People are people. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that, but it is good to see, people from other places as well. I do believe that.
I think that is a great point. I was thinking back. I recall how out of place I felt because of the individuals that just like I went to Virginia Tech my first couple of years of college, and compared to the place where I went to high school, coming to there. And it's like they got like ROTC and all that there. You be seeing cadets and everything walking around, but like real formal, I didn't really come from that. So like those different walks of life, thinking back, like there's certain things that I learned from individuals. My roommate my sophomore year, he's Indian. And like just different things that I still kind of hold close just from the different connections with different people. And I knew a lot of people who didn't get out there. And just like interact. That is such a disservice to yourself whenever you get into that college realm because of just like everything that can come to you, just the different things you may learn, different things. Sometimes you can outright see they probably from this area, they probably from here. I recall how country I kind of came across at the time, for moments, even though I had been away for a while, but still, just make sure y'all get out there and get those different walks of life from everybody because it's very intriguing.
And I think because I think here's the thing, when we speak about those things, and definitely these things I want to get into real quick, and then we'll go on. I want to talk about as far as this is with you, even though you said you have a job, so you kind of answered it. Financial literacy after graduation. Which you are saying you already starting to work. So I mean that's a good thing as well.
Yeah, well, like for me, I mean, I've had a job since I was like 15, 16. But learning how to like say no to things like before they took all the stores out of it, like we go to the mall. Because like I had a car in college. A lot of people don't bring their cars their freshman year. Like I'm 45 minutes down the road, so like I just brought my parents didn't bring my car.
Right.
Like realizing you don't have to spend your money just because you have it to spend. Probably like the biggest lesson I had to learn, and I wish I would have like listened in high school, when my parents were still pretty much in charge of how I spent my money, somewhat, and as opposed to learning that lesson while I'm on my own, and I only learned it because I spent all of my money. So I think that's a very important thing for like people to like you to look into before you get to college and before you can spend as much money as you want, is to learn how to really manage your money, especially if you're not working.
Right.
Because when I first got there, I didn't have a job. I got a job because I spent all my money.
Then you was a low key cab driver because you had a car.
That too.
So that helped it. I mean, that came through. You know what I mean? But the pay wasn't much because they didn't have much. But still,
Right. But and then also gas is not
no,
cheap, and it's like $2 more expensive than what it was when I first got to college.
right. So it's like one of those things.
Yeah, like gas is cheap. Like you really have to learn how to think about all that, like the price of gas and eating out every day.
Right.
Yes, it's a tough lesson to learn if you don't start like before you get there. Like learning it while you're going through it's kind of tough.
Well, I did hear good things about the calf though. I heard it improved a lot. I talked to the tour guy lady. She said that.
News to her.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. I stopped going to the calf like midway, like the beginning of my sophomore year. I haven't been to the calf in a minute. We did get like this little. It's called BRB. It's like not a sub, but like a burger place beside it.
Right.
We had Starbucks. I used all of my meal plan at Starbucks. But I never went. Like the last 2 years,
Was that a smart decision?
I wouldn't say it was like a bad decision because like I was gonna have the meal. I had the meal plan anyway.
Right.
So like, best decision no, but bad decision no. I don't know. It depends on what you like. I'm picky, so I wasn't going to the calf.
I guess.
So I mean, I'm not the best judge of the calf. I haven't been to the calf for 2 years.
Well, that's like I said what she said. Tell me about tell Donnie and Josiah about the kind of the debt traps as far as credit cards and stuff like that. Because like they on there all the time. They on campus, right? The credit card people they used to be.
No, actually they don't. I didn't see it like anybody like on campus telling you to get a credit card or anything.
Right.
They really they don't do that, but like
good.
They might put like a poster or something up about like student cards or whatever, but nobody really pushes it for you anyway. I wouldn't do it, but nobody really pushes you for one anyway. So
good. I think it's good. I mean, I think it's because that's kind of predatory in a way, knowing they don't have the means to pay it back, and then you get it. So I mean, that's a little bit as well. Real quick before we finish, just speak about a little bit about. Don't be afraid to start small. I mean, I think that's a lot, what we speak about as well. Because growth, right? You went from a freshman, you all from a freshman in high school, freshman in college to a senior, graduating senior, right? It takes time, right? And consistency a lot of times. And we spoke about that as well, but also small steps. So, when we all talked a little bit about, taking the wrong path at times, but getting back on the right path. It's a small step you would take. A lot of times it's just that, having the courage to take that small step. But look now. When you look now, I mean, I think, a lot of, kids have some trouble going to high school. I mean, I would say the same thing, right? But now, look how it's paying off for you all right now. And that's the thing that I see, in all, what was going on. I mean, you have the world ahead of you. It's one of those things like, like I said, you didn't know it was going to be, seems like a blur now, especially for you, because you went through too. So it seems like a blur now, right? And it's like, wow, hopefully you don't get get that student loan bill. But they won't be blurred in. But and that's but still, in order to be able to, get an education, right? And even if you did have to pay a little bit, it's never going to be, more than what you would gain out of it. It's just not. I mean, you gain so much out of it, and that's the thing. Real quick, and then we can finish up. Tell me this, and this is hard. This is a hard question. What does success mean to you?
I'll go first. What success means to me is doing something that you like to do, doing something your heart desires for you to do, and making people around you proud of you.
That's good.
That's what my mom's happy with what I'm doing. I'm happy. I'm happy with what I'm doing.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Oh, basically,
But you wasn't gonna say it in the same way. So just say it in the Donnie way then.
say it in the Donnie way. I can't put it. Making everybody around me proud, especially from my past. So I feel like success is like from your past to now, and like I guess overachieving what you have lived through. That's what I would say.
Right.
Yeah, I would say like success is like I define it by like daily improvements. Being able to look at where you started and where you are now. As long as you got better, as long as you improve, that's success to me. And also just being able to impact people around you. So yeah.
One of the things, I will say is the fact that I didn't pass every test, right? Matter of fact, well, not a whole bunch, but I didn't pass every. But sometimes I went through a little spurt where I had a little rough patch there. But all I'm saying is, I understand what your past was, but remember that's your past. That's something you can't relive. It's something you can't go back and change. But the thing is, you can go hurt and harm yourself if you keep looking back. But then you're gonna run into something, and that's the thing. So it's like so you might have failed a test or two or whatever. But look at who you are, but you never walk across the stage. So it matters to, the journey is what, like we talked about at the beginning, the journey is what matters. So you always have to remember that. Do I want you to keep on failing tests? I didn't say that. But just like, I don't know, is anybody gamers here? Well, you game a little bit, okay. Or for the ladies and for you, bad night at the basketball, game. Bad night at on the track. Guess what though? You're changing up some things because of that reason.
Yeah.
That's basically what it was. You're accepting what happened because you have to, because it happened.
So what you're saying is you failed tests, change up your study habits.
It could be that. Or get out of that room when they playing spades and something like that. go on in your room and go study, right?
I like a good game of spades.
See, that's what I'm saying. But changing those things up is a big thing. I mean, you have to kind of, recalibrate. In the gamer six, think about it. You didn't beat a game, on that level. You sit it down for a second. Guess what you did? Nothing different other than time. You thought about it, don't strategize in your mind. Maybe looked at a walkthrough or two. Then you went back and you beat it. And then it felt very good because what? About an hour, 2 hours ago, I couldn't even do it. That's the thing.
You don't think about the parts that ain't taking time.
No, you're exactly right. And that's, really quickly, your major, you stayed with the same major, right? The whole time. You may not. And that's the thing, you may not. So you might get down there and say, well, shoot, I don't know if I want to do all this, right? So you have to really, get the core classes first and then start to make this. So the only way you do that is talking to your counselors, talking to me. I've been down to, Concord, so they're real personable as far as, and I'm sure they would be at Tech too. I just don't, I know a little bit about them. And I know it's state, because it's like, I think she said it was 14-1, something like that, 14 students to one. So that's good. Yeah, so that's good. Yes.
Some word of encouragement that I wish I would have got told when I was in the 8th grade going into the 9th grade. Your 9th and 10th grade year is your most important year of high school.
No, for real. That's such a foundation.
I'm so for real. Your first 2 years of high school is your first 2 years.
Because people, they tell you it's not true.
So somebody else Adriana has some news to tell you all. Why don't you tell me? Your first what?
Oh yeah, that don't change when you get to college. You mess up your freshman year, it follows you for the rest
Yeah,
of
like
your
I said,
It's
that-
crazy.
career.
I'm not lying to you. It's crazy. I didn't believe it, but it's crazy.
Yeah,
If you bring your grade point average down, it is hard to climb it. It is hard to get it to climb. And that's one thing. So you always want to kind of nail, right, your first time. If you do that, and I'm gonna say you can cruise after that, but you gotta think you're just taking your general core, classes first 2 years. Then you're getting into quote unquote what you really want to study. So it should be something of a motivation to do it. Because you want to study in this. So it's a lot different. It opens your mind up a lot as well when you see that. And like I said before, I think that's a good way to just start closing this segment out. Like I said, I appreciate each and every one of you. I think, like I said, I congratulate you all. Definitely, go change the world. I mean, this is this is the model that we talk about here, but it's the truth. Go change the world, right? But the only way you can do it is small steps. You can only do so much. I'm just gonna tell you that now. But handle your business, just the same. You're sitting beside somebody who just graduated from college, right? So these are the things. Lean on your resources. There's people that have had struggles, and like I said, I just told you some of mine in school, right? And this is the things that we need. I mean, we need in order to build on. You have the mental health, right? I'm not saying that you all need it. Don't trust me. I'm not saying that, but I did. I need it. I didn't even, and real quick, I didn't even know there was an infirmary. I know that's my fault though. It's not. I didn't even know until I was like a junior. I didn't even know I was sick, man. I had strep. I didn't even know. And I'm sitting there in this room, just been there all the time in Hill Hall. I'm like, what is it? What is it? Yeah, I know. I'm like, what is this? I mean, it might not be there now, but man, that was the best place ever, man. I mean, I ain't go back there anymore because I ain't gonna get sick that much. But I'm like, man, this is, you know what I mean? This is crazy. And but
the campus.
exactly, we went on orientation, right? We went, my back memories of me. But then, like I said, even when we went to state that time, we did the visit. But always, I mean, keep asking. The silliest question you could ever ask is the one you don't ask. That's the only one. That's the only one. And I just want to, kind of shout out all the graduates from 2026 and beyond. I mean, because I think, one thing about, with Donkey, that me and Mike know, you'll start to see when we first started, Donnie was in the 9th, but the other kids was in the 8th, or Donnie was in the 10th, and they were in the 8th. I mean, the 9th, excuse me. So now they're starting, the cycle is starting to go where next year it'll be a flood of them.
A million graduations.
Graduate. I mean, really will. I mean, but it's a good thing to see, though. It's a good thing to see, the kids, growing up. They're working now, right? I mean, we seeing them work. We're seeing them do different things as well. I mean, like I said, and able to come up to us and kind of talk to us as well. So it's not, this is not like a job to me. I mean, it's really something I, get up for because you just never know what you might see. But you're working with people and it's always interchangeable, but it's always, really satisfying to see them grow. I mean, I'm not saying anything about me, but them grow. But even me, like, I mean, I'll just tell you real quick and I'll be quiet. But, even sometimes on the sense of, I'm a little older, right? I mean, I know how to speak, maybe not well, but I know how to speak a little. But even I learned things from Mike, and he's younger than me. I learned things from how he, engaged with, with the crowd, engaged with the kids. I mean, it's a good thing. It's, do they like Mike? Yeah, I mean, but I think they started with Mike. So right or wrong, so it's like one of those things. Is like, you ain't gonna be, I ain't hear him saying, but I had turned in some evaluations. 3. I was like,
they don't answer.
yeah. Oh yeah, they get on you. So it's one of those things. It's like you just would believe how inspirational you all are. I mean, really at the age that you're at now, and it's something to celebrate and something to really talk about as well. Looking for big things, like I said before, I couldn't believe the art show. I still can't believe. I was telling somebody because I got it in the book, right? I was showing somebody. I got another picture too. I got to put up, but I got to get a frame. I was just blown away by it. Just the talent, And like I said, I know you want to do kinesiology, right? But her study would be to figure out about this kinetic tape. See the function of the kinetic tape, and come back in and tell us how to work it, right? But make money. But no, I'm super proud of you. That's all I got, and I'll close it out. Chad.
No, I once again, congratulations to you all and all the graduates. And I would say, don't be afraid to go out and try new things, try different things. You might be surprised to find out that you might have a skill that you don't even know about. And you definitely are going to find some things that you're passionate that you don't know about, that you haven't been exposed to. And don't be afraid to be a beginner. Be bad at something and be bad at it. And if you have passion for it, you stay at it and work at it, and gradually you won't be so bad. And if you follow your passion, you'll never work.
Follow that. Congratulations to all graduates. Follow your heart. Do what you like to do. Find your passion. Whatever you do decide to do, be great at it. Take the time that's needed to be great at it. Write your goals down. If you ain't got them wrote down, they're just dreams.
That's right.
Write your goals down, track it. Always remember the goal on the back end. If you always remember that goal, you'll be as successful as you want to be.
That's it. I think, I want to thank, everybody out there. And I want to, just, say how, grateful I am. We actually are shooting in another office today. We recently moved. We haven't just officially moved, all the way. But, I thank you all for following us. YouTube viewers. It's more about following us as far as, being a part of the mission, more than it is about, how many likes or how many people view it. It's for me, if this can touch one person, then we've won. We've won because now they can go out and maybe they, was having trouble in school or they didn't know, right? And that's the only way to do is to put it out there for people. Like I said, we didn't get too in depth and we didn't have to. There's a lot, the trials and tribulations, that's what you go through, right? But you get back up, and that's the thing, and you all have, and I, personally would like to say, I want to thank you all again for joining us. Like I said, for, anything you need, right? Come back, talk about it, right? Come back and give us, we can do your memoirs, of how you doing in school. Just to show people, but it's really something, like I said, for keep your head up, keep your eyes open. That's one thing I will say. Keep your eyes open and trust me. It's a lot of traps out there. Just don't fall in them. That's all I can tell you. I want to thank you all for joining us. And again, we'll see you next week.